They say it's all about knowing your value and knowing your worth. Worth, overcoming, rebuilding, teaching, health. Worth, this life we ask ourselves, what's worth it to you? Your time, your life, the people you love. Do you care about yourself? What is the real value of self? Sometimes people have a hard time explaining that for their own self, for the time we take to demonstrate kindness, love, peace, and happiness. It'll take you back to the 12 principles, or 12 Jews, or I like to call it the 3 4s. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, justice, equality, and freedom, food, clothing, and shelter, love, peace, and happiness. The Stay Out the Streets Youth Empowerment Program is designed to give one a positive perspective, produces a positive performance. That's what we like to entertain our young people with today. No matter if you're a first grader, kindergarten, third, fourth, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh, eighth grade, definitely high school, 9 through 12, even college, and even some adults who have a hard time understanding what life is all about. So today we build on anger management. We broke this down in a small segment earlier. Anger management. How do we cope with the positive side of our anger management skills and the negative side? We'll start with the negative side. First thing that happens is we use our words. Bad words, typically, words that put other people down. Being sarcastic about what you're saying. Not being honest and truthful about the real situation, and delivering negativity automatically. That doesn't produce a positive performance. And it definitely makes the perspective seems very unoriginal. And when I say unoriginal, I mean the things that happen in our lives, some person in the world would say, everything happened for a reason. Well, depending on your demonstration, how did this come about? How did this occur? How did this happen? So we used our words. We put the person down. We then thought about being violent. I'm going to hit him. I'm going to shove that girl. You're going to put your hands on somebody. So this is going to change the dynamics now. When you put your hands on somebody, they have the right to defend themselves. They was taught if they hit me, I'm going to hit them back. I mean, just in the court of law, in any school, in any establishment, prison, church. If somebody raised their fists to hit you, pull a gun to shoot you, pull out a knife to stab you, even being too aggressive with your demeanor, with your words and the pitch of your voice, how high you go, how deep you are, how aggressive you can be. Then comes fighting. All from words, the name calling, the aggressiveness, the negativity, putting this person down to a low level to make them feel like, oh man, I got to do something about this. I ain't gonna take this no more. I can't tolerate this no more. Now fighting occurs. Now what comes from fighting? Like I used all those examples. Somebody can lose their life over something so simple. He said one bad statement. You took it all wrong. Or you took it exactly the way he meant it, but he didn't understand that you was on a different type of time. You was on some demonic type of time. You was on a situation in your mind where, oh man, it's either me or him. And his words really never really meant to take it that far. So now we got a situation where we got 2 brothers. We got 2 sisters. We got son and daughter. We got mother and father. We got all these different scenarios. 2 friends. Childhood friends, cousin and friend, 2 cousins. I mean, when you break this down, it's really disturbing because when you look at how many people is in a penitentiary, in a mental health facility, in a hospital, homeless, nowhere to go, mind torn apart from all these traumatic experiences in life and poor choices and decisions. And then the cemetery. Yes, the cemetery. That's where you really end up. And that's where you sit. That's where you lay. That's where you stay. You ain't coming back again. Like she said earlier on the Facebook post, ain't no do-overs, ain't no redos when you decide to make poor choices and decisions that can stop your world from turning just like that. In a snap of a finger, they said it take 1 second to make a good choice and decision, and 1 second that can ruin your life. Once you resort to fighting, once you do this, once you start fighting, once you bring the negativity into physical altercations and violence, now we're talking about life or death. And we witnessed this so many times. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I'm talking about from Chicago, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Miami, New York City, all the different places we can name where these things happen. In Detroit, I'm talking about Little Rock, Arkansas, Philadelphia. I mean, we can keep naming all these different small cities, big cities, and it will show you the demonstration when anger management comes into play. Do you have proper anger management skills? How do we cope with the negative anger management skills? What we try to do is explain it. Room full of young individuals, all got different perceptions on how they handle situations when they become angry. Where does this anger come from? How did it get so high level to the fuel in your body made you want to react in a negative way? Especially when it goes from words to put downs to being violent natured in your mindset to then reacting to violence with hands, fists, weapons, and fighting. I would say when we go to the side of positivity, stop immediately. Everybody just stop and pause and pay attention to what's happening here. The forces of God, the forces of evil, is the forces that strong to make us feel like we gotta kill or hurt this person because of some poor choice words? It's always the words. It's words. Everything begins with common sense. The words we say that we use. Now, some people don't have common sense at all. So I'm gonna go back and elaborate on that. Everybody don't have common sense. Somebody's common sense was how they were taught. Oh, I gotta defend mine. My daddy told me I'm gonna bust his head if he hit me. I'm gonna pick up something. But we was taught that. So remember now, be careful. Be careful what you think somebody's common sense is. Their common sense is it's common sense for me to pick up this and do this to you because I feel threatened. You got my back up against the wall, Wallaby. I don't know what you want me to do, but I ain't Gary go. I ain't going. First reaction, what they was taught. But when you stop, you practice a level of quietness in your mind. Maybe take a walk. When we diffuse it, calm down, my brother. Think about something good. Think about your daughter. Think about your mama. Think about your grandma. Think about something that brought you some peace real quick. I mean, if this is the demonstration, if this is what I can do to help you save your life by changing your mind or changing the way you think, this is what the demonstration is really supposed to be in my world when I'm dealing with my young people and I'm trying to give them this good advice. Let's go listen to some music, man. Let's go to the car. Let's go listen to this new, whoever you like. Let's go listen to some music. Let me let you hear one of my songs. Won't you critique this new record I just recorded? Tell me if you like it. Am I hot enough? Can I still get in the game with this, young homie, young lady? Come on, let me let you put this in your eardrums and take a walk with me. We'll come back to this room in a minute. Let's go take a break. You want to go to the quiet room? Matter of fact, I got the PS5 next to her. Go play the game for about 10 minutes and we'll come back and revisit this later. I mean, maybe that might take you away from this negative thought process. And you might not want to fight and we can get rid of all this negativity here on this side. To rethink what you could have done, or let's rethink what you're about to do. Matter of fact, let's be proactive. Let's just start thinking about what's the best option before we get to the point where we have to rethink what we already decided to do, especially if it was a negative demonstration. I try to use the correct words when we talk and we speak because this is life and death for every single situation, especially now more today. I don't know what you all believe in when it comes to your godliness or your righteousness or your spiritual connection with a higher power than you, the spirit that is in us. All of our spirits have to be different because we all been through different things. We all have seen different things. And some of the same situations, we all make different decisions. Deep breathing, just to calm down. Sometimes that can save your life. A split second, 2-3 seconds of closing your eyes and doing a little deep breathing. Just some deep breathing can help save your life. So again, a positive perspective produces a positive performance. We wanted to talk about anger management for a minute because if you learn how to cope with your anger, you can go so far. We got young homies and young sisters that's 14, 15, can't read and write. Wasn't taught to learn how to read and write, but taught how to count some money, taught how to go make some money, taught that it was so important to go out and make some money until they ran into a real life situation where being happy and being angry became an issue. Everybody's not taught how to properly handle themselves. They don't know how to cope when it's an argument between this $20 bill. Over $20, they start arguing. Over $20, they start putting other people into the argument. They start putting each other down because of $20. Now, we talking about a $20 bill. God forbid 100. Now, God forbid it over $100 now. But just for $20, the graveyard is loaded with $20 bills. It hurt your feelings when you really think about that now. Over $20, they couldn't manage their anger. Over $20. This right here, they couldn't manage their anger over $20. Violence came about, fighting commenced. How many brothers is locked up in the prison right now over less than $100? Because then it becomes a principle issue. You put your hands on me. You should have never pulled that gun out on me. Oh, and the brothers who pull their guns out, they say you're supposed to use it. I don't advertise or advocate any violence, but once you do up your gun and you decide to point it and shoot it and kill or even threaten one with it, you opened up Pandora's box. You opened up a whole nother world of this mental. See, we got this mental world is dangerous when it becomes a violent issue. Your anger, how do you channel it? How do you cope with it? We gave you a couple of examples on something that might help you overcome. Been put in the prison, been put in the cemetery, changing every dynamic of life that you had going for yourself. You was going to college. You was going to become an electrician, a plumber. You like to rap. You like to do music. You was going to have your own, you was going to be a podcaster. You wanted to be an internet sensation. You a content builder. You cut hair. You a barber. You wanted to be a plumber. I mean, you wanted to be an engineer. I mean, you wanted to be a gamer. I mean, I don't know what it is. You wanted to play basketball. You want to go to the NBA and the NFL. And you let one argument, you let one situation over either some money or was it intoxication? Was you smoking too much za? Was you snorting powder? Was you drinking lean? Was you popping pills? Was you doing Molly? Was you doing X? What was your choice of poison that ruined your mind at that moment where you couldn't even make a proper decision to save yourself at a time when you were supposed to learn how to cope with any situation, whether it was negative, whether it was positive? What we thrive on is changing the way we feel. What we thrive on is changing how we are supposed to do a demonstration in front of the world, in front of ourselves. Because at the end of the night, you're all alone. When you make a poor choice or decision, you're all alone. However, when you make a good decision, it seems that you always get more of an audience when you make a good decision, because then they get to see you longer, because you ain't going to jail. You won't be in the cemetery. You'll be able to continue to make different choices and decisions, especially if you have a positive mindset. I'm trying to be honest about where I come from. I ain't going to say the trenches. I'm not going to say I was raised with nothing. I ain't going to say I had a great upbringing. My mother taught me well. And guess what? My father was in and out of jail, little drug, alcohol. He still taught me what not to do. My mom and father taught me what not to do. They was married. When I was born, I was coming into a married situation. So with me being married, I want to exercise that to my children, to my sons, to my daughters. Guess what? Everybody ain't going to be married. But that don't mean you don't teach your children proper morals and ethics about being a positive, person, a person that show kindness, a person that prays about some of the great things that they thankful for. Everybody don't get that. Everybody don't have a mom. Everybody don't have a father. So guess what? I feel the blessings upon me to be able to even tell y'all that, because from all the young people that I do deal with, mom not there, dad not there, and I've seen them still excel. There's so many people I've seen who didn't have mom or dad, and they still were successful at what they did. The decisions and choices they made took them somewhere. The little bit of money, that's what we are taught to work hard for. strive for, live or die for. I can't tell you if this is true. I've been hustling and grinding and pedaling my 2 feet for a long time to be in the position to be able to get some good advice. I go rap at the London Correctional Institute in about 5 days. They called me today to give me the itinerary. Like I'm going to do a concert in the Coliseum. Maybe 3,000 inmates, maybe 2,500 inmates that I get a chance to go in front of, tell them my story, do maybe 8, 9 songs, live and direct in front of the crowd. I get to bring my banners, a concert in the prison. I remember my mom said, don't go to jail, Wallaby. I don't ever want to see you go to prison, man. Well, Mom, I ain't let you down, but I'm definitely going to the prison. I'm not going in handcuffs. I'm not in the county blue. I'm probably going to wear my hood solid. I'm probably going to wear my hood solid fatigues, and I'm going to go in here and give a proper demonstration to every single inmate in there. I got a couple guys I would love to shake hands with that I haven't seen in years that I ain't going to say grew up with, but I know them from the neighborhood, and that's what they do in their time. Excuse me. My apologies. What we're going to do is continue to hone our skills. We're going to continue to rap like we care about you. See, I rap like I care about you. This ain't really no gimmick. I'm not really into a lot of falsehoods and fakeness. So we're going to let you know I'm Wallaby the realest. And my demonstration today was talking about anger management, the proper ways to cope with anger, the proper ways to deal with anger, and ways that anger can change your life off the argument itself. And I'm talking about just one. One argument can change the whole rest of your life. The future depends on how well you can manage your anger. So today was just a quick lesson on what I wanted to talk to y'all about, because in life, it's not always going to be peaceful. It's not going to always be easy. We're not going to find ourselves in a perfect situation every time. But are you able to balance when you walk into this nightclub and you got 3 guys arguing, 2 girls arguing? Your goal is to go sell these 10 shirts that you got, that you came to this club to sell. Are you going to allow their anger to channel the steps you take? Are you going to start arguing with somebody over $20 because he didn't like the shirt you presented? Are you able to gauge what happened just now with this person you met and you let him try on the shirt? He complained about something. You got an argumentative delivery immediately as a salesperson. Sometimes when they say the customer is always right, I can't agree that they're right every time. But majority of the time, you want to make them feel like they are definitely right, especially if they're going to give you their opinion, or if they're asking for something that you're trying to sell, or if they're just trying to will and deal to cut the price down on you. Are you willing to bend to get the sale? Did you make a profit if you did bend? Because if you didn't make any money, I would never suggest you bend your price if you didn't make any money, unless you just had some promotional item that you were willing to sell for any price just to get it gone or to get your name out there. And that goes into a whole nother segment. What we talking about is how you control your anger when you're doing any type of demonstration, where you're working at a job and you're a cook, where you're working at a job where you're going into an office, sitting at a desk, on the telephone with people, not even being argumentative over the phone when you're talking to a person because of your delivery, because your choice of words. It goes back to the words you use. Because of words they use. They respect the drug abuser. Then blame it on the music. Then put us in the cruiser. Because of good music, you're going to respect my movement. All this mental abuse made y'all respect the shooter. And that's a whole nother segment. That's from one of my songs called Respect the Shooter. That was produced by AU. Sometimes we drift off because I have flashbacks of these words from these songs, because the message that I was given is I wanted to make sure I give a proper demonstration about this topic today, the anger management. We get angry when we smoking. We get angry when we drinking and we drunk. We're not the same people. We're not the same person. And now we done got out of our hookup and changed our whole direction of life from one argument over one $20 bill. Over one $20 bill, we changed our whole life around. So this was just a quick little segment I wanted to throw out there for y'all today. It's Wednesday. I think it's February the 5th. And I just wanted to make sure I gave y'all proper demonstrations 2025. Where we going today? We know who in power. We see the changes that they making. Are you going to allow this to affect you today? Are you going to become angry about some things that you can't even change? Or can you change it by your footsteps and your demonstration, with your acts of kindness, with your positive perspective that can produce a positive performance? So that's what we really want to know today. So I'm signing off. I just wanted to make sure y'all knew y'all's value and y'all's worth today. Worth, overcoming, rebuilding, teaching health. That's what it's all about.